Imagine you're out for a walk and you're wearing your new $200 high-top boots, and you pass by a child who is drowning in a shallow pond. Now, the pond is shallow enough for you to just wade in the water and save the child.
Wade in the water.
However, you don't have time to remove your boots, and the water and the mud would completely ruin them. What would you do? Would you wade in the water?
I didn't say swim, I didn't say backstroke, I said wade.
And rescue the child? Dude, answer faster. I hope your answer was a quick and emphatic yes. Yes, it'll be unfortunate to ruin these beautiful new boots. It would set me back $200, but the hell with the $200. The child's life is way more important. Absolutely, I'll jump in the water. That'll be my answer too. I would save the child. Even if it was my noisy neighbor's child, I would rescue him. Begrudgingly. I'm kidding, I'd rescue him gladly. Not begrudgingly, gladly. I asked this question to my friend, and he told me that he would rescue the child and then find his parents and ask them to reimburse him for the $200. And what if they don't pay you? I hope you're not planning on putting the child back in the pond, Sam. Alright, so we would all save the child. We would be horrible human beings if we don't. Now, philosopher Peter Singer would argue that you have been in such situation and you have failed. What you talking about, Professor Shades? I've never seen a drowning child in my life. Well, true. However, you have encountered situations that are effectively the same. For example, you may have heard that there are children dying of starvation in parts of Africa, and you could save a child's life by donating $200, but you haven't done so. The situations are the same. In the first case, there's a child who is dying, and you can sacrifice $200 to save his life. In the other case, there's an African child who's also dying, whom you can save by sacrificing $200. You have acted in the first one, but you haven't acted in the second one. Peter Singer argues that if you can save a life without incurring a significant moral cost, then you should. So ruining your boots, while unfortunate, is not a significant moral cost. So you should give up your boots to save the child. However, let's say the child was drowning in a deep lake and you don't know how to swim, then if we insist that it is your duty to save the child, that would be too harsh, because you would incur a significant moral cost. You will probably drown, along with the child. So in that case, you get an exemption. Same thing, if you're really poor and you barely have money to feed yourself, we cannot insist that you should donate $200 to save an African child. That would come at a significant cost to yourself. You might end up starving yourself. So in that case, you will not have a duty to donate $200. But for most of us, we do have some money to spare. Indeed, we spend a lot of money on non-essential and luxury items. Expensive clothes, dining at fancy restaurants, going on vacation, traveling the world, $10 frappuccinos. And ladies, let me holla at you for a second. Really, how many shoes do you really need? Seriously. Well, I'm not one to talk. I personally own at least 9 pairs of boxing gloves, so we're on the same boat here. So Singer would argue that instead of spending money on such non-essential items, luxury items, you should instead donate that money to save a life. It's your duty to do so. Of course, you can spend money on essential things for yourself, such as food, buying a winter coat, medicine, paying your rent. That's fine. It's the luxury items or the non-essential items that Peter Singer has a problem with. For the price of a $10 frappuccino, you can buy several mosquito nets that would save children from malaria. I bet you're starting to feel guilty right now, and you're thinking, damn this Peter Singer, I don't like this guy.
I hate that guy.
So he was a little analytical. That's what he does.
My friend was telling me, who does he think he is, telling me how to spend my money? Well, forget about Singer. Don't make this personal. Just focus on the merits of the idea. It was very obvious to you that you should step in and save the drowning child. So to be consistent, you should also give up non-essential items like boots or $200 worth of boots to save a child in Africa, because the two cases are effectively the same. Or so the argument goes. Let's try to push back on Peter Singer. Let's try to find fault in that analogy. So I'm going to come up with some objections to refute Singer's idea, and this way you can feel less guilty about the situation. The first objection that might come to your mind is the proximity objection or the distance objection. You might be thinking, hey, these two cases are not the same. The drowning child is right there in front of me. The dying African child is thousands of miles away. It's not the same. Well, Singer might respond by saying your point would have made sense a few centuries ago. Because back then, if somebody's dying thousands of miles away, you probably wouldn't even know about it. And let's say I knew about a child dying in Africa back then. What am I supposed to do? Make a large pot of rice and get on my horse and ride for 30 days and 30 nights and give him the pot and then go back home? It's very difficult to help back in the days. But in this day and age, with a click of a button, you can know about all the suffering that's happening around the world. And with another click of a button, you can donate money to an effective charity that would help that dying child. So today, you not only can reach into the pond and save a drowning child, it's as if you have very long arms that can reach across the globe and lift a child from imminent death. So distance is no longer a problem. I heard a great analogy once. Imagine you have a child in the backseat of a car and he's being slowly electrocuted. And you have a remote control. If you press the button, the electrocution stops. Naturally, you have a duty to press the button to stop the child's suffering. Now imagine the car drives a couple of signals away. The child is further now. Does that diminish your duty? If he goes to another city and your remote control still works, does the distance matter? Do you no longer have a duty to press the button? Of course not. The distance is irrelevant. So proximity doesn't seem like a very good objection. All right, let's try another objection. The diffusion of responsibility objection. In the case of the drowning child, I was the only one there, so the burden of saving him falls on my shoulders. But in the African child example, there are millions of people who are aware of the starvation and the famine that's going on. So the responsibility is diffused over a lot of people. So the two cases are not the same. In the first case, I have to act. In the second case, maybe I don't have to act because there are other people who are watching. Can Singer respond to that? Of course he can. So if there's a child drowning in front of you and there are two people standing next to you, you no longer have to act anymore? Oh, well, I don't have to save him. There are two guys. They can save him. Okay, and what if they don't? Oh, well, if they don't, they don't.
If he dies, he dies.
You can't say that. If they don't help him, you should help him. If you don't, it's no excuse to say, well, there were two other people watching. Bro, why are you not wet? Did you not save the child? No, I didn't save the child, but hey, there were two other people. Is that convincing? Does that make you less of a bad person? No. So the diffusion of responsibility objection seems to fail. Okay, let's try the fair share objection. We can argue that we don't have to give up all our luxuries and stop spending on items that are not essential and donate all the money to help the children in Africa. All we need to do is to pay our fair share, and that's it. We need to contribute, we need to help, we need to donate, but we only need to do our fair share. So for example, imagine the famine in Africa needs $1 million to be solved. I'm just making numbers up here just to illustrate. But let's say $1 million would solve the problem. And there are 1 million people who are aware of this situation. So $1 million, 1 million people, every person needs to donate $1.
Simple math.
So I'm gonna donate $1 and I'm gonna tell Peter Singer to get off my back.
I'm gonna need you to get all the way off my back about this. Oh, okay, let me get off of that thing.
Dude, I've done my fair share. Leave me alone now. Well, Peter Singer might say, what you're saying would be true if every person from these 1 million people is donating $1. If they do that, then yes, all you need to do is give $1. However, a lot of them, or most of them, are not donating anything. So can you say, I'll just donate $1 and that's it, even though you have more money to spare? No. Let's go back to the pond. Imagine there are 3 drowning children now. And you are standing there, and there are 2 other people standing next to you. Standing next to you. So you step in, and you save one child. And you look at the guy next to you, like, okay, come on, dude. Rescue this child. And you, what are you waiting for? Step in and save that other child. Now imagine they don't act. So what do you do now? Say, well, look guys, I've done my fair share. 3 children and 3 guys. I saved 1 child. I've done my part. If you guys don't want to act, well, it's on you. I've done my fair share. I'm out. Sorry, children. I can't help you. Don't be mad at me, be mad at these two guys. All right, I've done my fair share. I'm out. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Is that all right? Was that mature? Was that moral behavior? No, if these two guys don't act, you should just jump back in and help the other two children. So the fair share objection seems to fail. Man, this Peter Singer, you keep putting objections in his face and he keeps knocking them down. He's like a serial killer in one of those slasher movies, you know, you shoot him and he keeps coming back at you. I'm not suggesting he's a bad person. He's actually a very charitable person, and I respect that about him. But he just keeps coming back at you. He's a smart philosopher. So, is Singer right? Are we all failing in our moral duties? Are we all bad people? Should we only spend money on essential items and donate the rest of the money to save lives? Let me know your thoughts and your counter-arguments in the comments section below. And more importantly, let me know how many shoes do you have in your closet. And stay tuned for part 2, where I come up with better objections to Singer. Subscribe so you don't miss that video. See you next time. With $1 million. See that noisy kid? Do you hear that noisy kid? I would still save him. I wish somebody would come and save me from these neighbors. Come on, dude. I'm trying to record here. Come on, go out and play. In the garden. Not in the lake. Please. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water.